Welcome to Shovel Kings. Meet John Kotylak.
Yeah. It's like I said, since I was a kid playing in the dirt. Because when we were small, Mom would truck Grandpa and Dad on Mom's side, because Dad farmed with my Grandpa John after his dad died. And in harvest, you'd be out in the field with the grain truck, playing in the dirt, and then as soon as the two combines were full, Mom would pack us all back up, take the grain, and go to the yard, dump it, and then you hope she'd come back to the same spot so you could continue on your little play farm in the dirt. Sounds weird, but yeah.
In the spring of 2025, I drove out to Balcarres, Saskatchewan to meet John Kotylak. Fourth generation farmer, 40 quarters, the kind of guy who's been seeding since before GPS was a thing and can still eyeball 16 acres to within half an acre. I came to document a season, what it looks like when a farm like this starts working with crop aid nutrition, but what I got was a lot more than an agronomy story.
Well, we're a fourth generation. My grandfather came with his whole family from that area they're fighting in Russia right now. So we didn't know if we were Ukrainian, Russian, or whatever the hell we were. But they got the hell out of Dodge and came to Canada. They started off the boat in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, and they rented land in Hodgeville. Well, it's dry in Hodgeville. Guess what? They couldn't make it. So then they moved to Lipton, Saskatchewan, because they knew somebody there. And the land they had in Lipton, not the greatest, not a lot of trees. And so the whole family decided to move again. And they went all the way north of North Battleford, Saskatchewan. Well, you get trees, you got water, you got rain usually, and they got a whole section because each kid that was over a certain age, you got a quarter under the Homestead Act. So they got a whole section in the bush up there. But we actually went up there, me and my boys, and found the property. And I remember my grandfather telling me that they got the hell out of there because they froze. All it was big trees, lots of rocks, and in the middle of nowhere. And my grandfather, great-grandfather, is buried up there somewhere on that farm.
From that frozen quarter in the bush, the Kotylaks built. 6 quarters became 12. 12 became 36. Now it's 70. Quarters of family land, and John's boys are the ones in the cabs.
We're at 40 quarters. So Grandpa had, like we always laugh, the 4. Dad took it to the 6, but Dad took it to 12, and Owen and I took it to 36, and then to 40. So I don't know if my kids will take it to 120, but each generation we've multiplied it. But basically in the 60s or 70s, with Dad having 12 quarters, we were one of the bigger farmers at that time, because most guys were 4 quarters. When I was a kid playing in the dirt, I thought I wanted to be the biggest farmer in the world. And we got to a point that people wouldn't sell to us anymore, and we were told we had too much land at that time. And this was in the 80s. Like a lot of, when I came home from university, if a quarter came up or a section, I bought it. My banker looked at me like, why are you doing this? You should rent it. But it made sense to buy it.
You knew back then that land would appreciate always?
No, I didn't care. I just liked owning stuff. And and I mean, a good friend of mine, his dad and them used to laugh at us. Rent. And why do you want to buy? Well, because it's ownership. But now, I look at it, I don't need the frickin' work. Like, to farm 20 or 30 or 50,000 acres or 100,000 acres, good on those guys. I don't want the management decisions. I don't want the headaches, because there's headaches. Everybody farms this. Nothing is by the book that is perfect. And at this size now, 70 quarters, I guess.
John left the farm for a while and worked for Saskatchewan Agriculture and Food. Ended up in federal debt mediation during the 80s farm crisis, which, if you know your prairie history, was as bad as it sounds.
And the new guy, oh, we don't like the way this farm looks. And so then he's getting them back, telling you can't buy this or you can't buy that, you can't get credit and your dog's gonna get capped or whatever. So it was a learning experience that you couldn't be taught in a book. And you had to deal with a lot of stress because, I mean, there was everything from guys that were suicidal. I mean, you're losing the farm. There's sometimes the wife didn't even know that the farm was gone. The wife didn't even know that RSPs were all tied up, that she signed a piece of paper. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good time, but as far as if you could help the guy, and some made it, and then some transitioned out. I had one, well, you can't say it, but there was one that had a good career. His dad died, he came home to the farm, because that's what you do, and couldn't farm, basically was going to lose everything, just about divorced, bad family situation. But his career that he graduated from the U of S with, he could get any job and make a fortune. And basically in the long run, the farm was gone. He lost it. I ran into that guy in a city in Alberta a few years later. He remembered me.
So you were trying to help these people?
Yes. But I had to explain to him that there was no way coming out of it. That, I could not get a plan that would make financial sense to continue. And that's a hard decision when you got to tell somebody, or not tell them, but explain to them that the dream is not there, right? Well,
That's a tough one.
It's
Because they can't see it, right?
no, and it's tough. It's not an easy thing, and it's not easy for them because some of them, when you work your entire life, and then some of the young guys right now have never seen a disaster.
That's the thing about John. He's not just a farmer who decided to try a new product. He's a guy who spent years watching farms fail and came back to his own with every intention of making it last.
I couldn't believe how in a couple of years, we use a pretty good fertilizer regime, and these guys in a couple of years were pulling off some pretty damn good crops. And so we asked them, because I'm not afraid to ask somebody what they're doing, and then I'll search it out, weed through the bullshit. So we tried, and it happens with Crop Aid. We knew Calvin, because they used to live in Saskatoon close to my cousin, and they played football together. So we thought, what the hell, we'll give it a try. And we kept noticing little things on the other farm because we're right side by side. So we'd get a 3-inch rain and our water would be sitting on our fields and theirs kind of wasn't. And then we'd look, I could find 5-6 years of pea stalks, wheat, and on theirs I could only find 1 or 2 years. So it was there's something happening. And everybody, yes, all these new stuff. I mean, there's a lot of snake oil shit out there, and everybody's searching for that magic bullet.
Something was happening. The neighbor's soil was breaking down residue faster. Water was infiltrating instead of pooling. John's a skeptic by nature, but he's also not afraid to ask. And the answer was crop aid. By midsummer, I came back with Greg Bugyi. Greg's a crop aid dealer, but calling him a dealer doesn't really capture it. He's a former dairy farmer, a numbers guy, and the kind of person who won't sell you something until he's tried it on his own land first.
I wouldn't sell it to anybody till I try it on my farm. I'm not going to sell you something that I don't believe in. I'm all about money, all about cost, and I'm trying to put more and more money back into the farmer's pocket. That's the whole game. If I cannot make that farmer money, why am I selling this product? Look at the difference already. Look at the root system we have here.
More roots, yeah.
Yeah. Got way more roots, way more hairs, fine hairs showing up. Look at the color difference on the plants. I says I'm just gonna bust this apart. You know, you've got a lot more leaf drop already on this plant. There's net blotches showing up on this plant here. I'm seeing it. This one I haven't found a net blotch on yet,
When you walk in, you could tell it was different.
you know. So that just,
This is what makes me happy.
but don't get that without the seed germ. Those little wee fine,
Yeah, because that's just Raxel,
yeah.
which is just to get the beginning of disease, eh?
So
Well, we'll see when we get the X9s in for harvest. There'll be a difference.
on Albert's field, what we saw on wheat, 3 to 3.5 bushel difference. We had a half section and a half section. And the only difference was he did 3 applications of everything. The only difference was the seed germ, because they didn't want to spend the extra dollar or whatever it was an acre. And the difference was 3 bushels, 3 to 3 point some bushel difference in yield.
But the roots are only half the story. What John noticed first wasn't what was growing above ground. It was what was happening below it. Specifically, where the water was going.
When Yorkton got flooded, I came with the quad down this road and there was water sitting in our field. And on Mornay's, there was no water, and it was like, it should have. This stuff should have ran into that field.
But you see those little hyphae? There is none. No seed germ. They feed the plant. They're grabbing all the nutrients from the soil and converting it. Yeah.
See, this is what makes me
and
happy,
feeding.
though.
Yeah. Water retention is like so important. The soil doesn't smell like dirt anymore. It's robust. It's got lots of oxygen in it. You know, it's a living soil. We literally brought it to being a living soil.
3 years in, and John's soil is changing. The compaction at the field approaches, where decades of semi-trucks and grain carts have packed the ground down, is starting to break up. The residue is breaking down faster, and the water's going where it's supposed to go, into the ground, to the roots, to the crop. By fall, the crop looked good. John's wheat was strong. The barley came off clean. The peas had pods. On paper, it was the kind of year you work all season for, but farming doesn't happen on paper. It happens in a market. And the market had other plans.
Then the peas, I kind of lost interest in them since all this tariff shit hit. Now they're only worth $6 a bushel. So we've lost $4 a bushel thanks to the tariff. There's no market. You can't even hedge. So, yeah. No, it's just been crazy. Richardson and everybody pulled bids on Friday, and then they dropped $1 a bushel last week, and then they dropped on Friday another $1, and then on Monday they went down to $6 and some cents a bushel. Well, even a 60 bushel pea crop, $360 an acre, that don't cut anything. So we usually don't bin our peas anymore. We like to send them right to the terminal. But this year, Cargill quit buying peas. So then I was looking for market, and yeah, you get busy and priorities. And yeah, we didn't. The other spot we were supposed to go was Balcarres. I didn't want to haul that far. So we were waiting for Richardson's to open up in Melville. They finally did. And then the price dropped. So yeah, we're binning beans.
$10 a bushel to $6 overnight because of a tariff that had nothing to do with John Kotylak or his peas or his farm. And when the buyers pull their bids, you can't even sell what you've got. You just sit on it and wait.
Your cost of production's down because you're not fertilizing to the extent that you do. And if you remember, that's that field Bugyi couldn't really find good nodule growth because I had hit it with way more phos than I should have. But I was trying a bit of an experiment on a few fields. And so even if, you're at, with everything, you're probably 360 into them. So you'll break even if you sell them at 6.
Break even. That's the best case scenario on a year where the crop did everything it was supposed to do. And this is where you start to understand why John's been talking about the 80s all season.
Farming, which was looking so awesome just a little while ago, was starting to, I hate to say it, remind me of the 80s all over again. Talk. Yeah, not like, I mean, yeah, when we hit the bull market, I mean, that's when you thought you were cooking with gas. Everything, there can't be that. You went out and bought a bunch of stuff and you thought, holy God, this is looking really good. And then, yeah, so this is gonna, it's got me a little worried.
John Kotylak's great-grandparents froze out of a quarter in the bush north of North Battleford. His grandfather got 6 quarters from a friend in Winnipeg and started something. His dad doubled it. John and his brother tripled it. Now his boys are the ones in the cabs. The tariffs will do what they do. The markets will do what they do. But the soil is better than it was 3 years ago. The water goes in now, the roots go deeper, the residue breaks down. And when you pull 2 plants out of the same field and one's got twice the root mass, that's not a sales pitch, that's just what happened. John's still out there, still playing in the dirt. Welcome to Shovel Kings, a year in the dirt.